Good afternoon, YouTubers. Happy Sunday. It's cold. It's about 34 in the garage. That ain't too bad. I got my heater running off and on, but nothing big. I figure while this steering box is out of the way, that was my last episode, I'm taking advantage of changing this master cylinder out and the brake lines. The steering box, it's not horrible when it's in there, but it's easier with it out of the way. That way I can wire wheel and paint that area. I know you're tired of hearing about that. But while the master cylinder's out, I'm going to go ahead and paint that entire area where the steering box, everything goes, to seal it off, you know, a little bit to keep it from rusting. I'll film and show you pulling the master, and there's spacers in between them two layers of firewall that the bolts go through to hold the master cylinder on. I'll show you what I mean. Them spacers must be in there, because if not, and you're pushing on that brake after a while, you're going to crush the firewall right there without them spacers. You'll see what I mean. I'll show you when I'm taking it out. But new brake line kits on the way. Supposed to be here today, DHL. But anyhow, let's get the master cylinder out, remove some brake lines, and I'll show you what's going on. And then we'll do the whole install together in a couple of days. All right, let's go ahead and get under the car, remove the master. I'll film it the best I can. Actually, it should come out somewhat okay. I got a little tripod that the legs are bendable on, so it kind of can grab onto things like a monkey. I don't know. All right, let's do it. Taking the lines loose on the master cylinder before I go ahead and release it from the firewall. They're 11 millimeter fittings, although I'm going to use a 7/16, which fits fine. Here's your two lines right here. This one goes through the firewall, down alongside of your seat near the tunnel, and then out the back of the car. Make sure you use the grommets on each end where they exit the car, though, because if not, it'll end up cutting into the brake line eventually on the metal. I sprayed some PB Blast on the fittings, and I know you're probably looking at these lines going, wow, they're solid, they look new. Yeah, they do look solid, and they probably are, but I bought a 9-piece kit from CIP1, and there's a reason for this. These lines have been sitting empty for probably, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, I'm not even sure yet. Which means they have moisture in them, which probably means there's some rust inside of them. Now, I had some brake fluid come out of one of them, but I still don't like it. As cheap as these kits are, it's only, I think it was like $30-some for the whole kit, and I'll have to bend them, but the fittings are on them. I can't get the wrench on here, and that'll be that. I would rather replace them than regret it once I get the car all together. So taking a chance, and I'll be easy on these lines. Reason is I can set them up on my workbench and bend the new lines according to the old lines. So I got a new master cylinder that came with the car, so I'm going to put that on too. Although this one don't look very old, but like I said, it's been sitting empty forever. I don't know if the plunger inside dry rotted. We don't know that. Okay, hoping some brake fluid come out, not very much, just a drop. Okay, these, I took these off before I started filming. I imagine this is self-explanatory. These plug onto the master, just unplug them, both of them. I just got them up out of the way there. But that's it, we just got to go inside now. Take the bolts off for the master, and PB Blast them bolts where they come through. There's some sleeves when you pull them bolts out, so watch they don't drop down inside. Okay, well, we're inside. I gotta pull the pedals to get them out of the way. It's a 17 millimeter. There's my other nice new bolt. Just mine don't have the rod going to the master because I had it on and off 50 times. And I knew I was changing the master. Okay, let me grab a ratchet. Stuff 13 millimeter. And, oh my. Wow. Let me get on the other one. Break it loose. Wow. Now, I guess I gotta be tight. The pedal's pushing against it. I think you're supposed to keep from pulling these bolts all the way out because these spacers that are supposed to be in there keep from crushing the firewall. I want to keep them there though, just in case. Oops, well, master's pushing off there. Okay. Okay. And master is out. Show and tell time. Okay, where you at, hole? Alright, point proven. Let me get my finger up there. Ooh, where you at? See that spacer right there? I know it's hard to see. That's why I didn't pull the bolts all the way. Them spacers are in between the firewall. And if you don't leave them in there, when you push the brake pedal, you're going to eventually smash the firewall and bad shit's going to happen. Oh, sorry. So if them spacers fall because you've pulled the, the bolts all the way out, it's okay. Reach down in with a magnet or something and get them. Them bolts need to go through them spacers in there. Trust me, they have to be in there. Don't forget me saying that. Okay, time to pull the brake line out. Let me get, there's little clamps holding the lines down. You can see all the seams still there. So you're just gonna pull this through the firewall. Oh, isn't this nice? Never had one fight me like that. It's out. Always put a new rubber grommet in there. They're very cheap. Okay. And come on. All right. So you have your little clamps you gotta bend out of the way. Oh, excuse me. Okay, now it's loosened. This is the brackets here under the seat, your seat rails. There's still some clamps. You just bend them up out of the way, but don't get carried away and bust them off. Some guy's pulling them way too hard. Just give them, because they're not very thick. They're just thin little clamps. See? That's it. All right. Now, as you can see, it exits the rear of the car under the back seat. Notice the rubber grommet. I know I keep bringing it up, but you have to have them on there. So you buy new ones, they're just like $1 each. $2 tops. Okay, we're gonna pull that. I'll show you where I have it disconnected at the back. Okay, so you can get a visual on what's going on. Here's where your transmission sits. On your cradle, okay? Now, here's your rear wheel, okay? Now, your brake line from the wheel cylinder runs up along here and it goes to a T-fitting. This goes there. That's the rear line we just disconnected inside the car. Sorry to camera shake you, I'm holding with like 3 fingers. And then the other one goes to the other side. So it exits the rear of the car right there. If in fact you have your transmission out, it's a lot easier. If you don't, you can pull your left rear wheel and reach in through there, and no, it's not fun. I know people are gonna bitch and say, well, you made it easy. No, my transmission's already out. because I'm doing all this work in the back, so it makes it much easier. If you detect that your brake lines are old and you have your tranny out for any reason, take out an extra day and do the brake lines. You'll thank yourself later, trust me. Okay, so all the clamps are disconnected. Let's pull this from the back. There we go. Okay, that main brake line is out. Okay, so here's that big brake line. Goes all the way back. It's long. I believe, I'm pretty sure in the new kit that's coming, from what it looked like, they sell you a 2-piece kit for that long line. You connect it on the floor somewhere. I'm not real thrilled about that, but thousands of people buy them that way, and if I'm correct, I think that's the way the kit comes. But you got to bend them all yourself. I should have bought a tubing bender, but I have an old school way that I do it. If I don't get a tubing bender by then, I'll film, you know, both ways. I did that today because the steering box is out of the way. So while it's out of the way, I took advantage of being able to get to everything so much easier. I'll probably go ahead and mount the master cylinder so it's at least up and in there and out of the way. So steps at a time, baby steps. Okay, so this is the part that goes into the master cylinder. You'd seen me remove the one that goes through the firewall and into the back of the car. This is the only other one in the master, and it goes towards the front, and it goes to a T-fitting. So that line's not very long, the other line on the master. That'll go to the T-fitting, and of course that goes to the left front wheel. The one on top of it crosses over and goes to the right. So let me try to position the camera here. Hold this, I don't want this tab breaking. This tab holds this T-fitting on. You don't want to snap it off the frame head. So I'll hold it. Hope you can see. I can't see the camera from here. Okay, let me hold it up here on this. Wow, that bad boy's on there. Here we go. That was tight. Hold this, I don't want this tab breaking. This tab holds this T-fitting on. You don't want to snap it off the frame head. So I'll hold it. Hope you can see. I can't see the camera from here. Okay, let me hold it up here on this. Wow, that bad boy's on there. Here we go. That was tight. Hand now. Okay. And that's the one that goes to the master. Okay, I might as well loosen these other lines up while I'm here. Remember, this is on the front frame head. I'm going to put a pry bar behind this, so when I'm turning it this way, it don't break this tab off the frame head. So, and almost out. Okay, that goes to the left front wheel. Okay, I got a pair of channel locks holding on to it. And you break the top one loose. You don't want to break the tab. I know you're tired of hearing me talk about it. I'll shut up. Okay, now got to get a 10mm and take his T-fitting off because we're going to want to clean it up. You know me, Mr. Wire Wheel. Clean it up real good, blow it out with brake clean, and blow it dry. Okay, I'm trying not to block the camera, guys. It is so hard. Okay. And there's your little T-fitting. Little 10mm bolt held it on. And this is that tab. You don't want to break that tab off because it's holding your cluster. So there you go. And there's what it should look like when you're done with it. Clean it up real nice. I'm going to take the bolt out. Okay. Blow it out real good. I didn't blow it out and clean it out inside yet. But brake clean. Clean the threads up real pretty on the bolts. Make it nice. You'll be happier with your work when you do stuff like that. But that's what it should look like when you're done. There's what it looks like beforehand. It's all nasty. So do yourself a favor, take time and clean stuff up like that. Okay, so here was the other brake line that came off of that T, just right there. And it just goes right to your brake hose. So no big deal. I'm not going to show you me turning this off of there. It's stupid. You get the point. And then it goes to another little, after the brake hose, you have another tiny line that goes to your wheel cylinder. All right. No big deal. Stuff's easy. You can do it. Refresh your brake system if it needs done. Okay. Well, that's it for today's segment. I got some stuff done after I took all them brake lines off. Here's some pictures here. And getting the inner wells done was a nice step to get out of the way. And I did that firewall area where the master cylinder goes. I had cleaned it off, wire wheeled it, and did a coat of bare metal primer and then 2 coats of oil base on it, Rust-Oleum, and it's all cleaned up nice. So moving along, my wife texted me. The brake lines showed up at the house, which is about 100 feet away. I didn't even hear the truck, but that's okay. Tomorrow I'll get back in here. It's getting late in the day now, so got a lot done today. Thanks for being with me. I really appreciate it. I'll go ahead and post a clip in a couple more days. I'm starting to post a little more often now because I'm just getting a lot of stuff done, so I don't want too many film clips backing up because then it takes forever to edit them, you know. So, okay, thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it.